Hi, everyone. Today I'm with Adda DelGrego. She is the HR recruiting assistant based out of Ocala, Florida, with Ansafone contact centers. Adda, how are you?
I'm good, Judy. How are you doing today?
Doing really well. Thanks so much for coming on board.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And so I have a bunch of questions for you regarding what Ansafone contact center does.
hmm
So let's start with the first question. Can you share your role here at Ansafone?
Absolutely. So I am the recruiting assistant. My role is to be able to find good candidates that are going to be not only a good fit for our company and our culture, but that are willing to, I feel at the end of the day, learn what we do and adjust to the everyday. Ansafone, we have many different clients that we service, members. We answer all type of questions, so it's been able to find a good fit, and
Right.
again, my goal is to find somebody that also wants to grow with us.
Right. That's really important.
Mhm.
Can you share a bit about your background and how you arrived at Ansafone contact centers?
Yes, so I came in November of 2017. I had just relocated to Ocala, Florida. To be honest with you, Judy, I had never done the call center before. I had plenty of customer service,
Yeah.
uh, but this was a new field for me. So
Right.
I started with Ansafone as a CSR. I started answering the phones,
Oh,
learning.
nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And for me it was challenging at first because I feel when somebody comes in any company to
Mhm.
something that for me that I wasn't used to, it was a bit scary.
Right.
um it's a story that I'm able to share with, when I'm recruiting, to be able to share that, hey, it might be challenging at first, but trust me, if you stick it out, there's so much room for improvement.
Right.
So they relate to that. I'm able to relate to people in that sense. So I started as a CSR. I know what it takes, and then I know what it takes to be able to move forward. From being a CSR, I think 8 months into the role, there was another opening for the reception area here at the Ocala site,
Mhm.
and I knew that I'd be good at it. It was something, that I did have prior history with in my previous life, and I
Yeah.
went ahead and I applied for it and interview along with a big group. I was fortunate enough to be chosen for the role, so it opened another door. At this point, you are the face of the company. You get to interact with clients coming in, all of the leadership, the directors. So I was able to show who I was, my work ethics. And then from there, it opened the door for HR again.
Wonderful. That sounds like a
So,
great career path.
yes, ma'am, it has.
So, what is the culture of Ansafone exactly, and how do your core values affect how you lead your team now?
So I feel that, our core values are based not only on just trust and respect,
Mhm.
but I think ultimately in teamwork and kindness. I think
Right.
when you trust and respect your team, you learn to value their opinions. You listen to what they have to say. Their ideas matters. Their individual talents. Everyone has something to offer. So I think when you have that,
Yeah.
everything falls into place because there's going to be a sense to where you're not doing things on your own. You're doing it as a group. If as a group we shine, everything else shines.
Yeah, that's a very, very perceptive way of looking at things, and that you're able to see the gems and the talents of every individual. That's wonderful. What attributes do you look for specifically in an employee, like a team leader or an agent? What are some important attributes that you see?
So I always like to say I like to find the diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
you know,
right, right.
um, again, because there's going to be people that are going to be intimidated by the call center environment. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, but I've never done this before," and I'm like, "It doesn't matter." What matters is, do you want to learn? Do you want to grow? We have as a support system, we have our education department, our quality and assurance. So we have the tools to offer to a candidate that is going to make you shine. But and then to me, sometimes I don't like to focus so much in. Is it great for somebody to have the technical skills? Like, they're great at computers, they're great at typing, they have a great phone voice, which it matters. But do you have the heart? Do you
Oh,
have,
that's a really excellent
you
point.
know, do you have the empathy? Again, in what we do, you have to be able to show empathy. Find that common denominator. Do you relate to the person that you have on the phone? Um, and be kind. Again, we're in a world where everything is so upside down, with COVID going on, people's emotions and feelings are always in the rising. And it's, how do you, if you have a conversation on the phone where somebody might be a little bit upset, is how do you manage to bring that person to cool down and say, hey, I am here to help. I'm going to do what I can. So, and I think heart comes into it, having that emotion.
Yeah, very insightful. And I think you just nailed it as far as what the culture is like for Ansafone providing customer service like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share some techniques or incentives you use to help motivate and elevate your team?
I would say positive reinforcement. I think, there's, everyone has a good day and a bad day, but is able to say, you're doing a great job. I go through my good days and my bad days, and
Right,
it's not, I have, I'm very lucky. I have a great director. And
right.
he's always saying, Don is always saying, breathe in, breathe out. Guys, let's take a break, 5-minute break, and let's say something good for the day. I think that matters. I think it matters when something tells you, don't worry. Today might have been a little stressful. Tomorrow's going to be better. And you know what? You did. This is what you did that was great today. I think positive reinforcement goes a long way.
Wonderful. What is the most difficult part of being a leader for you?
I think I overanalyze things, and
Right.
I am my worst critic. I being a perfectionist, I want to be able to meet goals. If you tell me I need 10 recruits, I want to be able to give you that goal, and say yes. And when I don't meet that, God, I don't think anyone have to be. I'm hard on myself. So, and I feel when you're a leader, I feel like, again, not that anyone expect anyone in any department to be perfect, but I just expect it out of myself. So
Right.
I think that's the hardest part for me, to be like, hey, you're not going to be perfect. There are going to be days you're not going to meet your daily goals. So, and it's still okay. Just keep moving forward.
Mhm. Excellent. What are some of the challenges you face when managing a team?
Um, I think learning to relax, and being able to say no. I am, especially
Power
when
of no, right?
yes, the power of no, especially with recruiting,
Yes.
there's, everyone has a story, everyone needs an accommodation, and, whether it's a shift or a day off. And th- I would love to be able to say, yes, we can accommodate everybody, but there's, we have to be mindful of course, the candidate's needs, but also being in alignment with what the company needs. And there is going to be times when we can say, no, we can't do that. so,
Right,
so
right.
I want to be able to say yes all the time, but it's finding that moment where I have to say, no, unfortunately, we can't.
What do you instill in your team members when it comes to training and development?
Um, to, I think you always have to have, practice makes perfect.
Mhm.
Um, if you have the tools, be consistent at it. Continue to learn. Never feel comfortable in one place, because there's always room for growth,
Mhm.
and that's what's going to take you places. And again, I think that goes for anyone that's been years in this company, for anyone that is also coming in, is if you never get stagnant, never get complacent, because
Mhm.
education and growth is always there.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy. I'm so for that as well. Never be comfortable. That's a
Yeah.
good one. How do you create harmony and a collaborative atmosphere amongst your team?
Uh, I want to say being fair, um,
Okay.
creates harmony. And again, taking people's feelings and thoughts into consideration.
Mhm.
not disregarding anything, supporting one another creates harmony. And I think support it, for me, is big. Um, we're like a puzzle.
Right.
Every little piece is important for the final product.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's excellent.
if there's
So
something missing, there's, something's going to be off.
I'm just curious. I mean, let's say you're in a situation or you're in a project where one team member has a bit of an attitude, so to speak, or doesn't want to comply or go along. How do you talk with that kind of person?
I mean, we're all adults. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah,
Judy.
yeah.
This is gonna sound off. I'm glad to say, and again, I can't speak for all of the departments. I
Right.
mean, and I've had relationships with everyone in pretty much all of the departments,
Mhm.
and I get along great. In our HR department per se, we just have this philosophy where I can't think of a situation where we there has been any type of feeling or animosity or somebody was upset for somebody, because we're all for, hey guys, we got this, we're going to do this together. If somebody had an emergency, or
Mhm.
again is having an off day, is like, I'm here for you, do you need me
Right.
to listen,
Right.
what can I do for you, and we're just going to lift each other up. Again, I think that goes a lot with who you have, from the top to the bottom. We have a great director, like I said, and it's just always the motivation of, we're going to do this as a team, and we got to be each other's keepers.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that says a lot about your company. And clearly you have hired the right people because you've eliminated that issue of any kind of conflict. So congrats to you guys.
Thank you.
So you pretty much answered my next question in that and resolving it. So I will skip to the next. What are your top three accomplishments so far?
um I mean, personally, for me, being able to say that I started with Ansafone as a CSR, then had to have played two different roles in the company, for me, that's an accomplishment.
Mhm.
Second, I would say, getting the respect of my peers within the company, to where, they can say, hey, what does Ada think?
Right,
That is important to me. Or,
right.
hey, let's run it by Ada and see what she thinks. When somebody values your opinion in any department, whether it's
Mhm.
the vice president, the directors, even the CSRs that are coming new, what does Ada think? For me, that has a lot of value. And third, I would say a big accomplishment is to see that a CSR came in, and maybe 4 or 5 months down the road, I've seen them get a promotion for a
Mhm.
QA position, or some of them
Right.
are in workforce management, because I say, wow, I did get to find that diamond in the rough. Or, this person took maybe my input and my advice into, if you want to grow, this is the company. And that is also a major satisfaction for me.
Excellent. What would you say are the strengths and weaknesses on your team? Just areas of improvement.
um I think a weakness for all of us will be, we need more time.
Right, right,
Sometimes there are not enough hours in the day
right.
to sometimes be able to accomplish everything that we have on our plate. I mean, HR is busy, recruiting absolutely busy, especially nowadays. Um, and our strength is honestly to be able to work as a team, to not leave anybody behind. It's just, no, we're all gonna work together and we're gonna move forward together. I think that's our strength.
Wonderful. What does your ideal team look like?
I think honestly, I think I work with the ideal team. If they ask me, what's your suggestion, what would you change? At this point, I don't think I would change anything within our team.
That's an excellent point right there. You already have your ideal team then.
I do. I do. I'm hoping to continue with this team for as long as they will have me.
That's the dream team for you.
Yes. Uh-huh.
They say great leadership lead by example. How do you lead by example?
Um, I wouldn't ask anyone to do anything that I'm not willing to do. If I have if I expect, whether it's a CSR, whether it's a supervisor, if I expect something from you, is because either I've been there, done that, or I would set the expectation for myself, maybe sometimes even higher. I think sometimes that's what a good leader is.
Great. What has been your experience like working at Ansafone? Just an overall view.
Awesome. I mean, Ansafone has, it really has, because Ansafone has opened doors for me
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think had I thought about it 4 years ago, I wouldn't have pictured myself here. I was taught at an early age that, for any job that you do, you start at the bottom and, you work the hardest, you move your way up. But I'd be lying to you if I said that 4 years ago, I knew that this is where I was going to be today. And I have been very fortunate at, and Ansafone has opened doors for me that I will always be thankful for.
Wonderful. That is great to hear. So Ada, we're coming to a close of our interview. I'm curious to know, do you have any specific message you'd like to share with the world?
Put your heart into everything that you do. I think when you lead with your heart, and by that I don't mean just be emotional. It's just,
Right, yeah.
it's kindness, Judy. I think kindness takes us. It breaks barriers. It's common courtesy, especially in our present time. I
Correct.
think when you put your heart, you're able to see the next person. You don't disregard the next person. And that's why for me it's very important when I'm talking to anybody on the phone is I understand you, I hear you, this is what I can do to help. If it's somebody coming new, I want to be able to find that in them.
Beautiful message, Ada. So where can prospects and customers find you? What is your website URL?
They can go to www.ansafone.com. If they click on the career page, they will see our postings. But my company email is ada.delgrego@ansafone.com. They can also email me directly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ada. It was a wonderful, lovely interview, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate you as well. Lovely to speak with you.
See you soon.